You know, it's pretty sad when these short films at the beginning of these Pixar movies are better than most of the films that Hollywood is pumping out today. Finding Dory. So Finding Dory is the highly anticipated sequel to 2003's beloved Finding Nemo. In this, Dory actually remembers a snippet of her past and with the help of Marlin and Nemo, embarks on a quest to find her parents. But fear not everyone, Pixar did not completely mess up and just rehash Finding Nemo. There's actually a story that needs to be told here, and this serves as a great companion piece to the original. Now, there are still similarities between the two, but nothing too in your face. The main similarities between both movies is that they are both physically trying to find someone. However, I personally felt that this movie was more about a journey of self-discovery and self-acceptance more than actually physically finding a specific character. Now, the script for this movie was just fantastic, with great dialogue and interesting characters that were complemented by great animation. But more importantly, this script had great balance. Now, Pixar has always been known for making great characters, and just like in Finding Nemo, I found enjoyment in every single character in this movie regardless of the size of their role. This guy right here had me cracking up hard. I mean, sometimes cheap comedy just gets to me no matter how hard I fight it. And what I meant about balance earlier was that this movie was able to play homage to the original without overdoing it just for the sake of fan service. For me, it felt like a really effective way to reintroduce all of the old fans back into this world while also filling in the new audience members. And then they take all of that old stuff and they just build upon it even further with this great supplemental story. Now, all the performances in this movie were actually really good, with Ellen DeGeneres as Dory being great once again. Dory delivers a lot of the heart in this movie, and when this movie was first announced, I was actually kind of skeptical if Dory would be able to carry a movie on her own. Going into this movie, I was actually really afraid that I was going to get tired of Dory just forgetting things for 2 hours. But they handled it really well, and they ended up creating a really interesting mystery that needed to be solved. Dory's backstory is really interesting and heartfelt, and in a lot of places, painful. This story is going to hit home for a lot of people. Now, Hank the Septopus was a great addition into this universe, and although a lot of the things that he does in this movie don't make any sense whatsoever, he's so interesting that it's hard not to just let it slide. The chemistry between Dory and Hank is off the charts, and you find that this movie is more about their relationship than anything else. Also, this movie did a great job of incorporating Marlin and Nemo without ever taking any of Dory's thunder. And if you look closely, I really appreciated that all three of these characters complete each other in one way or another. We see that Nemo actually has great memory unlike Dory, and that he's actually adventurous unlike Marlin. And then obviously Marlin is a lot more reserved than the free-spirited Dory, but then you see that they all push each other. Now, the pacing for this movie is actually pretty good, although for me at the beginning it did feel a little bit rushed as new and old characters fall into place and the plot thickens. The movie actually leaves you wanting more at the end of its respectable runtime. Now, I did have a few issues with this movie, but I feel like I only found those issues because I've actually had a few days to sit on it since I haven't had that much time to make this review. The first thing I noticed is that this movie relies heavily on flashbacks, which does make sense since this movie is about Dory overcoming her internal struggle, but it does feel really repetitive at times. It's repetitive in the sense that you can see when Dory's about to have a flashback that is just going to add another piece of this puzzle. It's flashback, add a piece of the puzzle, move on, another flashback, rinse and repeat, basically throughout the entire movie. The other issue I had, which I can't really decide whether it's actually an issue or not, has to do with this movie not having a direct source of conflict. The conflict and tension arises from the physical circumstance that Dory is actually in. There is no villain. On one hand, I found this to be excellent writing and extremely refreshing, but on the other hand, something inside me just wanted a little bit more, just something a little bit more urgent. This movie also has a few political elements that were so blatant that it was obvious that they were just trying to aim them at the adult audience. And although they were done relatively well, they were apparent enough to kind of take me out of the experience for a few seconds. Guys, all in all, Finding Dory is a sequel that we didn't even know we needed. As time goes on, it will definitely be as quotable and enjoyable as the original Finding Nemo, just for a new generation. It's cute and intelligent and hopeful and authentic, and it preaches a very valuable message of self-acceptance and perseverance regardless of one's own shortcomings or disabilities. And these are all reasons why I'm going to give Finding Dory an 8 out of 10. I know I'm a little late, but hey, life happens. But Finding Dory, have you seen it? Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. And if you want to see any of my upcoming movie reviews, make sure you subscribe and make sure you like this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.